Hello, this is Christian. Welcome to another video session with me. For this assignment, you're going to create a vehicle class. Well, it's not just single class, but it's an assignment about vehicles. So we're going to create three types of vehicles. If you see down the bottom here, we have a car, plane, and boat. And of course, you can add more if you want to, but that's the minimum I require to do that. And so you're going to have a superclass called vehicle. Okay, and then you're going to have these are the properties of that vehicle. You can add more if you want to, but just these four will be sufficient. And then you're going to create setters and getters for these properties. And I also want you to create at least 5 functions. One will be to start the engine, stop the engine, accelerate, that you will increase the speed. Brake will be to brake, right, step on the brake, and show information to show the current state or status of your vehicle, whatever that vehicle is. And again, I have down here, I have more information about each of those functions, what they should do, or what they should display. Okay. So I really want you to have fun with this assignment. It's a very simple assignment, but I'm not asking you to do something really complex. If you want to, expand on this, by all means do so. If you want to use something like a bootstrap to make your page look really nice, I highly encourage that. After all, this is a web development class, right? So I'd rather have something functional, but of course, if you want to add some bells and whistles to it, by all means do so. In this video series, I'm going to create something a little bit nice, not super nice, but at least something similar to what you see in our guest book. I'll be using maybe just the same layout here. I'll use the header and the footer and each of these buttons. Instead of going to separate pages like this, I'm just going to put the links to the types of vehicles like a boat, plane, car, and things like that. So when you click on the boat, it's going to show the boat information and all the interactions you do with the boat, the car, the plane, and so on. And also, you are more than welcome to create multiple pages if you want to. In this video, I'm going to create a single page. So it's kind of very similar to a single page application or SPA, which we'll get to do much later in the course when we learn about Angular and other frameworks. Okay, so we'll see how this is done. So for this series, I'm probably going to create a couple of videos, but for this first video, I'm just going to set up this home page, landing page first, and the navigation, and then we'll go into the classes, create the classes for the objects, and then we're going to come back here and instantiate objects and things like that. Okay, so let's go to the co-editor, and so here's unit 2. I'm going to create another folder. I'll just call it unit 3. All right, so I'm going to copy maybe the index file. I'll put it right in here. And I ask you to, I say call vehicle. Again, you don't have to call vehicle. You can call it index, whatever you want, that's fine. That's the landing page. But I'm going to call it vehicle. Okay, and I'll set up my setup will be kind of similar to what you see here. Okay, so I'm going to create a new directory called assets, and then inside the assets, all I have in there is just a CSS. I'm going to have a main CSS in here, so I'm going to go and create it right now. Just a placeholder. We'll populate that later, and then in the main directory here, I'm going to create a includes folder. We're not going to interact with the database, so in here I'm going to have the same as I did the other one. I have a file called functions. I like to put my functions in own separate files and include that back into the Bing program. And then one more, maybe I have one for all my classes. Okay, so like the main class, the main class, and yeah, boat and plane and things like that. Okay, so again, we'll come back and we'll do this later. And again, this should not be inside the assets. Is it in assets? Yeah, it shouldn't be. All right. So now the vehicle. So I don't need the config, but I do need the functions. So includes and then functions. That's the one I'm going to need. I'll import my functions in here. So I'll have here my awesome vehicle of the world. Okay, something like that. Okay, so here will be, I will probably, change this quite a bit. I'm just gonna turn that off. So let's just build the header, which is inside the function here, right? So we have a function called show, what did I say? Show header. So here, and it's gonna be very kind of simple this time. I'm not gonna make it too complex. Just really simple, mainly just in navigation. Okay, so here I put like that, and then maybe I'll put the header in here, header tag. Inside the header tag, I'll have the H1, I have the title again, vehicles of the world. Okay, something like that. Maybe not too. And then here I have my navigation, and I'll have a navigation here. So my UL, LI, and then each of these will be just a link to. In this case, I'm just going to call it the index of the vehicle class. So again, you can type in the actual file name like this. The reason why I do that is, well, if you do that is it's fine because you hope that you won't change the file name. If you do change the file name, however, then that can be a hassle to go back and replace those. So I usually instead of doing this way, I usually use this method here. So I'm going to go to server, and then inside of server, I use the PHP underscore self. Okay, so that will always load the current file, whatever this file is. Oops, self. Okay, if it's an index, if it's a vehicle, it doesn't matter. It's just the current file. I'm loading the same file. Where this is coming from, I'm including that inside my vehicle, so it's going to be the vehicle. Okay, and then we'll modify this later. For now, I'm just going to do that, and then I have the I'm not done here. And then I have here, maybe this is for the car. This will be for the boat, and then I have here for the plane. Okay, and so let's save that. Okay, so I need to maybe create a navigation class here. Just call it menu, right? And again, I'm not gonna use exactly the same as before, but I'll just copy the CSS and put that in here. So I have a menu class in my body, and if I go into the main menu from the unit 2 in my CSS here, I'm just going to copy the top, maybe like the body, the header. I'm going to have a main container, the navigation, and hover in the footer. Yeah, all the way. Yeah, this part. I need these. I just put those in right in here, and I'll modify as needed. Okay, so yeah, so the nav UL, yeah, I don't need a class. I can just do that as fine. Yeah, I don't have a guest book, so I don't need that anymore. I don't need that guest book. You can leave it as is, but I just don't want to put that in here. Just too much information. Okay, so everything should be the same. Okay. All right, so save that, and I'm going to go and add a main container for my file. So here, well, actually, it's already here, which is great. Okay, so let's see what this one looks like. Let's say that and run. So here we go. Well, one thing I need to put down here, but looks good, right? So when I click on car, it's going to show the as you can see, it loads the same file, and boat and plane. Well, what I need to do is, how do I know I'm, using car, boat, or plane? And in this case, I'm just going to append it to the URL, right? Like this would be like, I don't know, object is boat or plane, like that. If I see that, I can grab that from the URL and it load the boat content. Okay. Let's see if I get footer. Yeah, I don't have that function down there. So let's fix that, and I think we're done with this this one here. So the get footer, I have a get footer function. I'm going to copy from the other one. Over here, it'll be kind of similar. So the footer, yeah, just this one here. Copy that, and you can close that and put it right here. Okay, so my footer is done. My navigation. Okay, so let's fix the link right here. Okay, so when I load the car, click on the car link, I want to show like an object type is going to be car. Okay, if I click on the boat, then I want that to be object is boat. Same thing with the plane. So when I load a particular link, I want to instantiate the particular object based on this obj variable. Okay, so let's go back and see. Refresh that. Okay, so if I go to book cars, you can see boat and plane. All right, and so that is my shell for my assignment. As you can see, I cannot remove those. Right, I have to. What if I want to clear and reset those? So let's add another button here just to say clear or reset or something. Okay, or like start over or something. So let's go and do that simple one. Add another link here. And this one, I'm not going to add anything to it. Okay, I'll leave it blank. There's no object. So I'm just going to say start over. All right. Okay, and then our logic will be inside here. This is where our logic occurs in here. Okay. So last view. So here we go. When I click start over, as you can see, nothing shows up here. And then I'll show some default content. Click car, shows car, boat, plane, and so on. Okay, so in the next video, I'll go and start creating our classes. If you have any questions, please let me know.